advice for the colleagues?
This award is an award of enablement. With this award, I think I am going to be more dedicated, more punctual to my work. And my message to my fellow colleagues is that wherever you find yourself, be dedicated to work.
I am happy and highly motivated, and I'm ready to put more into my job.
It's as if I'm still dreaming. But you see, the bottom line is in life, you do things and you do not even know people are not seeing. So I can just say it is God that rewards hard work. So it's just God's reward. And I'm most grateful to people that one way or the other have noticed what I'm doing.
My advice is for them to put out more effort, and they should not be in the haste, because where you are working, you are being monitored by the management. So when you are moving up and down, or the management assign a duty to you, you have to be prudent, you have to determine and be early in your service and deliver your service when due.
There is always a reward for diligence, and the Federal Ministry of Agriculture and Rural Development, through the Civil Service Award, has demonstrated its commitment to the welfare of staff via motivation. While we congratulate the awardees, we must draw the curtains on this episode. Join us again same time, same station next week for another interesting package. Until then, bye for now.
Live on your TV, computer, iPad, tablet and phone. Log on to visiontv.co.uk and click on Entertainment, then NTAI. You can also download the iOS or Android app on your mobile devices to watch NTA International on the go, anywhere in the world. NTA International, your window to the world.
Hey, beautiful. Your eyes, your smile are all begging me to take you home tonight. Now reading page 3. Experience unlimited super-fast internet access from Entel 4G. Entel. Live more.
The need to improve the quality and quantity of goods and services available for consumption in Nigeria is critical in increasing total wealth and improving our well-being.
The National Productivity Center has the mandate to impact productivity consciousness in all sectors of the Nigerian economy, as well as build skills and competences for the enhancement of national and international competitiveness.
Productivity is teamwork. Let us join hands together to make Nigeria a productive and prosperous nation.
National Productivity Center, promoting productivity in our nation.
To every politician, as the campaigns gain momentum and passions begin to rise, remember, the errors of your opponents do not make you a success. Do not run down your opponent and inflame passions to violence between and among your supporters. What counts is what you plan to do for the electorate and how you intend to relieve the sufferings and bring succor. Nigeria is in dire need of patriotic leaders at all levels, leaders who will make national development their priority. Concentrate on telling the electorate what you intend to do when you get into office. Focus on making your vision clear to the electorate. Don't engage in verbal abuses, fake news or speeches. Keep dealing with issues that will bring progress. You win the hearts and minds of the people by being above board, by being civil, patriotic and showing empathy. Let's join hands to make the 2023 elections peaceful. A message from the National Orientation Agency.
Western civilization.
Nigeria wants to see trade diversified to non-oil products such as agriculture, power projects, renewable energy, and pharmaceuticals, where a lot could be achieved.
Renewed commitment to deepening ties. Nigeria and Portugal sign MOU on 6 sectors. Lekki Deep Sea Port makes history, receives first cargo vessel.
This costs grow higher, and the situation is further worsened by the fact that new agencies are being created on a daily basis.
Also tonight, checkmating, rising cost of governance. Federal government sets up committee to review agencies created from 2014 to date. Hello and thanks for joining us on the news. I'm Elizabeth Omori. Adiola Komi Akere joins us from the city of Lagos and Sulamat Brigachukun from Kaduna. Here is a reminder that you can start clicking, join this news broadcast live on our website, nta.ng/live, as well as other social media platforms displayed on the screen. We begin with the President's visit to Portugal, where Nigeria and the Republic of Portugal have signed 6 memoranda of understanding in various sectors of their economies in furtherance of their renewed commitment towards building a shared future of genuine friendship and prosperity. This is the outcome of President Muhammadu Buhari's high-level engagement with the Portuguese leader Marcelo de Sousa, as well as Prime Minister, as part of his state visit to the European nation. Status correspondent Adamu Sambo reports.
President Muhammadu Buhari and the Portuguese Prime Minister Antonio Costa watched with keen interest as representatives of Nigeria and Portugal signed the MOUs between the two countries, 4 of them on political consultations, diplomatic training, research, exchange of information and documentation, women and girls development, as well as culture, was signed by Nigeria's and Portuguese foreign affairs ministers, as well as that of parliamentary affairs.
Are agreements that can actually form the basis and the foundation for coordinating all the agreements that we have. Portugal is a very important member of the European Union and is a leader in many fields, especially areas like renewable energy and pharmaceuticals and also IT. So it's a very important partner. What we have created really is really the framework for the institutionalization of this partnership between the two countries.
The Memorandum of Understanding on Cooperation in the fields of youth and sports was signed by Nigeria's Minister of Youth and Sports, Sunday Dare, and that of Parliamentary Affairs for Portugal.
The focus on youth will be to make sure there's an exchange program between the youth in Portugal and the youth in Nigeria, but also to leverage on the areas of entrepreneurship, the area of startups, the area of ICT and the digital economy, but also beyond that to see how we can have youth in leadership and mentoring. When it comes to sports, we'll be partnering in the area of anti-doping. There's zero tolerance for doping in the world now. In the areas of sports medicine, which is a growing area of sports development. In the area of training for our coaches, for our athletes. This morning I was at Benfica. I met 2 vice presidents. We had a meeting. Benfica has agreed to come and set up an academy in Nigeria and bring coaches from here to train Nigerian youth in football. And I think that's a major development for us.
Before the agreement signing ceremony, President Buhari led the Nigerian delegation to a follow-up engagement with the Portuguese Prime Minister Antonio Costa on ways and means of deepening and expanding areas of collaboration and cooperation between Nigeria and Portugal. In the meantime, a befitting state banquet was held in honor of President Muhammadu Buhari and members of the Nigerian delegation by his Portuguese counterpart Marcelo de Souza in appreciation of the long-awaited visit.
Nigeria wants to see trade diversified to non-oil products such as agriculture, power projects, renewable energy, and pharmaceuticals, where a lot could be achieved. We are also aware of the stalled negotiations to establish a direct air link to bring both countries closer. I assure you of our administration determination to make it happen.
Excellency, it's in this spirit, marked by confidence in the future and marked by the strong ties. Join me in drinking to the health and happiness of the President of Nigeria and the prosperity of the relations between Portugal and the Federal Republic of Nigeria.
The 4-day state visit to Portugal by President Muhammadu Buhari ends on Friday. From Lisbon, Portugal, Adamu Sambu, NTA News.
And as a further demonstration of the respect and enormous goodwill President Muhammadu Buhari enjoys in Portugal, as well as the high esteem in which he has been held by the Portuguese, the mayor of Lisbon has formally presented to him the key of honor to the ancient city. State House correspondent Adamu Sambu once again reports.
Established 1,200 years before Christ, Lisbon is one of the oldest cities in the world and the second oldest European capital city after Athens. President Muhammadu Buhari is the first Nigerian leader to formally pay a state visit to the Portuguese capital, and for the mayor of the city, Carlos Moedas, it is an honor well cherished and valued. Indeed, the joy of the mayor knows no bounds as he guided President Muhammadu Buhari and his delegation on tour of the mayoral seat of power, referred to as the City Town Hall. There he performed the symbolic presentation of the key of honor to the city of Lisbon to the Nigerian leader.
Portugal and Nigeria have an important cultural, historical, political, and diplomatic ties. You are a great nation. President Obama once said about you that you strived to overcome division and turn Nigeria diversity into a source of strength. So you were able to build the largest economy in Africa. I so much agree with that. So we want to work with you. We want to work with your innovators. Lisbon's objective is to be the capital of innovation of Europe. But for that, we need you. We need the African continent. We need to work with you peer to peer.
President Buhari was full of appreciation to the mayor for the honor done to him, describing it as a reflection of the cordial relations existing between Nigeria and Portugal.
Nigeria, like Portugal, has many unique historic and cultural assets, as well as a developing hospitality industry, which both countries can exploit to promote tourism. We are ready to extend our bilateral trade beyond oil and gas. We are also keen to establish a direct air link between our two countries to further stimulate tourism, people-to-people contact, and social, sporting, and cultural relations.
The president formally appreciated the city council for the excellent manner in which Nigerians are being accommodated in Lisbon, including those fleeing the war in Ukraine. And as the presidential state visit to Portugal draws to an end, some members of the Nigerian delegation have been speaking on its gains so far and indeed the the low-hanging fruits.
It brings about a win-win situation between Nigeria on one hand and Portugal on the other. And I'm so much impressed when I have met with their officials, including the Prime Minister of the country, to discuss about partnership, collaboration and support in building our digital economy, particularly supporting our talent development, digital startups and many more.
We supply about 60% of the gas to Portugal, which supplies their energy needs. And there's a demand from Portugal for more of our gas. NNPC was able to showcase what they're doing, which showcase their plans for the two different gas pipelines, the Trans-West Africa one all the way to Morocco, and the Trans-Sahara one to Algeria. And there's a lot of interest in these two projects.
Both Nigeria and Portugal are expected to, in the next 1 week, put together an implementation committee of 6 to draw an action plan towards achieving maximum benefits from the agreement signed by both countries. From Lisbon, Portugal, Adamu Sambo, NTA News.
Honor well deserved. And back home, the National Council on Privatization has approved the board composition and proposed governance framework for sustainable management and payment of post-privatization liabilities of the power sector transferred to the Nigerian Electricity Liability Management Company Board. The Council also approved fast-tracking of the work plan for the concession of the Zungeru Hydroelectric Power Plant. Status correspondent Jide Onifade reports.
The approval by the National Council on Privatization of the board composition and proposed governance framework is for the sustainable management and payment of post-privatization liabilities of the power sector transferred to the Nigerian Electricity Liability Management Company Board. The composition of the board includes the Minister of Finance as chairman, while members comprise the Minister of Power, Director General, Bureau of Public Enterprises, Director General, Debt Management Office, Managing Director, Nigerian Electricity Liability Management Company, and all its executive directors. It was also resolved that 2 key members from the private sector be included in the board. Also at the meeting, the council noted that the key objectives of the Zungeru Hydroelectric Power Plant concession include leveraging private sector access to finance and reduce reliance on government budgetary allocation to fund the China Exim Bank loan, and leveraging efficiencies and better facility management culture of the private sector for the long-term preservation of the asset. The Council had, in its December 2020 meeting, approved the concession of the power plant. Similarly, the Council was briefed on the performance assessment report of the 9 electricity distribution companies, DISCOs, which has been forwarded to the Nigerian Electricity Regulatory Commission for further review and action. The meeting of the Council, its third in 2022, was presided over by Vice President Yemi Osinbajo. In the State House, Jide Onifade, NTA News.
In what may pass as a successful test run for the much-anticipated commercial operations at Lekki Deep Sea Port, a cargo vessel, Zenhua 28, has recorded the first voyage to the port, bearing ship-to-shore cranes and other equipment. Managing Director of the Nigerian Ports Authority, Mohammed Bello Koko, while receiving the vessel, said preparations are in top gear to start generating revenue from the port by September this year. Adeni Taiwo reports.
In February this year, this is how the quay wall at the Lekki Deep Sea Port looked, even as construction continued. Although the seaport is still about 90% completed, there is a significant change in the quay wall, which is now completed and ready to welcome the starboard of cargo vessels there on business. Now, with its draft of 16.5 meters and a turning circle of 600 meters, the port provides comfortable anchorage for seagoing cargo vessels such as Zenhua 28, which has about 9.2 meter draft and just 232 meters long. The vessel, a heavy lift carrier ship, arrived Lekki after 30 days at sea from our originating port in Shanghai, China. Apart from the excitement that our arrival as the first ever seagoing vessel to visit Lekki Deep Sea Port caused among stakeholders, her cargo, consisting 3 modern ship-to-shore cranes and other equipment, are said to be critical to commencement of port operations. Her arrival provides a glimpse of the volume of business that the port can play host to, and the impact of that on the economy is left to the imagination of Nigerians, particularly players in the maritime sector.
It's going to be going to be operated digitally, and that will transform to efficiency. So if Ababa can do 5 containers in an hour, this will do 45 containers in an hour.
Managing Director of Nigerian Port Authority, Mohammed Bello Koko, who described full automation of processes as key to port efficiency, said Nigeria, becoming a shipping hub in West Africa through the deep sea port, will start earning revenue from the project before the year ends.
And cargo dwell time also will reduce by much more than that, because this port has the capacity to handle more cargo, evacuate more cargo, and cargo clearing will be faster also because of the automation here.
As a viable alternative to existing ports in Lagos, the Lekki Deep Sea Port has the capacity to create over 200,000 jobs and generate about $350 billion in revenue annually. In Lagos, Adeni Itaiwo, NTA News.
In other news, ECOWAS ministers of finance, diplomats and experts have identified priority sectors such as value addition on agricultural products, as well as maintaining economic growth as some necessary requisite to recover from current global economic challenges. Foreign Desk correspondent Usman Ali reports that the ECOWAS Ministers' Council in Accra specially recognized President Muhammadu Buhari for his role in championing the fight against COVID-19.
COVID-19 is not yet over. But unlike the year 2020, it is now less worrisome as the vaccination campaign brought hope once again.
In a very special way, I'd like to duly acknowledge and express our appreciation to His Excellency President Muhammadu Buhari of the Federal Republic of Nigeria, the champion for the coordination of the fight against COVID-19, for which he has taken salutary initiatives and made available the necessary resources and logistics at the service of the community.
With the effect of the pandemic, climate change and the Russia-Ukraine war, the ECOWAS ministers say effort must be intensified on trade, free movement of people and goods, adoption of digital economy, as well as reinforcement of the human capital base.
We must cooperate in terms of trade liberalization. We must be able to cooperate to get the full benefits of the African continental free trade area. We must also be able to cooperate together to make sure that payment systems within our region are seamlessly aligned.
There's going to be a discussion on the Lagos-Abidjan corridor. It is the biggest trade corridor in West Africa and one of the biggest trade corridors in even the whole of the continent. So as we know, there are so many thorny issues along that corridor. We have seen how, for instance, the Republic of Benin imposed tax of 9 million CFA per truck that are passing through their countries, taking goods from Nigeria to Ghana, Cote d'Ivoire, Senegal, and other countries in the region.
In the end, leaders of the West African community are expected to adopt reports on far-reaching resolutions on various committees and experts. In Accra, Usman Aliyu, NTA News.
President Buhari assures Nigerians that the perpetrators of Shiroro attack would have no hiding place. These and more after these messages. To stay with us.
The National Primary Healthcare Development Agency has commenced a nationwide operation to verify COVID-19 vaccination records and validate vaccination cards. This exercise will allow vaccinated individuals correct damaged QR codes and confirm personal information like name and date of birth. It will also enable the federal government to validate COVID-19 vaccination cards to identify those that have been acquired fraudulently. To verify your COVID-19 vaccination records, visit www.vaccination.gov.ng/verification-guide and follow the instructions. If newly vaccinated, wait for 24 hours before verifying your records. For intending international travelers, verify your records at least 1 week before your travel date to avoid delays at departure point. If you cannot access the website, call 0700-220-1122. This message is from NPH-CDA.
Wash your hands, love each other, we go where you know.
The power, the performance, concentrated power, concentrated performance, the partnership of concentrated power. Salty, the official regional partner of Paris Saint-Germain.
The Honorable Minister of Works and Housing, His Excellency Babatunde Raji Fashola, SAN, and the Honorable Minister of State for Works and Housing, Moazu Jaji Sambo, cordially invites chairmen and members of the National Assembly Committee on Works, Federal Executive Council members, state governors, traditional rulers, and other stakeholders to the commissioning and handing over of Ungro Gashua Bayamare Road, Section 2, Phase 1, Gashua Bayamare Road in Yobe State. The commissioning of the highway project will be performed by His Excellency Muhammadu Buhari GCFR, the President and Commander-in-Chief of the Armed Forces, Federal Republic of Nigeria. Host, Executive Governor of Yobe State, Nima Labuni. Date, Saturday, 2nd of July, 2022. Venue, Gashua Town, Yobe State. Time, 11 a.m. All invited guests are expected to be seated by 10 a.m. Please note that COVID-19 protocols must be adhered to by all invited guests. Announcer Bashir Nura Al-Ghali, Permanent Secretary.
Wake up the champion in your child. Give them energy to go further. Milo Active Go and the natural goodness of malt, milk, and cocoa helps wake up the champion in your child.
Everyone always says I look young and ageless. And I just smile. Because deep down, I know who to thank. Since day one, you've made things so easy. Being with you is refreshing. You give me peace of mind and satisfaction much more than words can express. I know people wonder about the person in my life, and I'm so happy that now I can show you all. My dearest party of life.
Are you an entrepreneur? Are you involved in farming, manufacturing, servicing, and other specialized value chain creation in non-oil export commodities? The Organization of Youths in International Trade and Commerce, OYITC, in partnership with NTA Television Enterprises Limited, is organizing a Made in Nigeria trade show and exhibition in Texas, United States, tagged Houston 22. Houston 22 is designed to promote creativity and productivity of Nigerian youths and women entrepreneurs, enhance economic empowerment, and attract foreign direct investment into Nigeria. It is scheduled to hold from 25th to 30th of July 2022 at the prestigious Expo Event Center, Houston, Texas by 9 a.m. daily. For registration, advert placement, and sponsorship, please contact Nafisat on 0803-331-0992 and Chingwe on 0905-596-1514. For further details, visit www.oyitc.com or www.ntatve.com.ng.
Thanks for staying with the NTA. To financial matters, the Central Bank of Nigeria says farmers under the Agricultural Credit Guarantee Scheme Fund can take advantage of the increased 50% one-year interest drawback rebate. This is by paying their loans as at when due. Musa Abubakar reports that the board chairman of the scheme, Stephen Okon, said this at the National Awards ceremony for the Best Farmer of the Year in Abuja.
It's not news that the Agricultural Credit Guarantee Scheme Fund of the CBN is bridging the gap of poor financing to the agricultural sector. The CBN scheme has continued to encourage banks to provide facilities for agricultural value chain activities. This is with a guarantee payment of 75% of any loan granted under it, helping to de-risk the sector.
It has been given back since 1977 to support farmers and support through the banks with a guarantee.
Mr. Okonkwo, Tidubem, Al-Mustafa Megwandu, and Kristen Chuku are the winners of the first, second, and third position for the Best Farmers Award 2021 of the scheme for their credit worthiness, while